Welcome to Dear Business Coach, the podcast. My name's Elizabeth, coming to you from the Walker Consulting Works studio. Find one thing to move your business forward today. With conversations, spotlights, interviews, articles, and free resources. Listen, follow, and subscribe on social media. Dear Business Coach Podcast. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. And don't forget Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. All it takes sometimes is one little thing to move your business forward today. Today's episode is with Michelle Kaye. This is a part 2 episode. Michelle Kaye was our guest last week on how to buy the right computer for your business. And today is a second episode dedicated to Michelle Kaye, the computer coach. Find her on LinkedIn. And this is important because the basics that Michelle is sharing with us are just paramount. We want to make sure that we stick with the basics and within our budget. And so I thought it was important to dedicate 2 episodes to Michelle because I got a lot of value breaking down each question with her and paying attention to each detail that she gives. And so I hope you enjoy it. So picking up where we left off from last week, here is Michelle Kaye. We're continuing the conversation, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
Microsoft, Google, Zoom, whatever, find out what program, what operating system, what machine it will work on, and how much space it needs. You want to do that research before you start looking for the hardware for that new computer, because you don't want to buy something that is fairly cheap and you suddenly start putting stuff on, it starts growing, it goes, I'm full, and you now can't do with it anything with it because you've just wasted your money. So if there are specific software that you know you have to have, calculate it out, make sure that whatever you're buying is going to fit all of that with a bit of space to spare.
With a bit of space to spare. Okay. Awesome. Now, okay, next question. What are the go-to software or services that you need to start with?
Oh, so that boils down to a number of things. We're talking about your business. So first off, what do you need for your business? Well, you probably need some communication. So that's going to be email. Many programs today, or many suites today, all right, let's boil it down to the real two. So Microsoft or Google, they include an email program. So Microsoft obviously is Outlook, and Google is Gmail. So you're probably going to be writing stuff, whether that's notes for yourself, content to share, ideas, thoughts. So you're going to want an Office suite. Which one? Your choice. If you're coming out of big business, so if you're coming out of, I've forgotten the words completely. So if you're moving into, say, being your own boss, then there's a good chance you'll probably have a bit more experience with Microsoft. Head for Microsoft. You already know how to use it. The learning curve is going to be very short and very shallow because you know how to use it. If you've been playing around and you're really happy with Google, go for that. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one of them is fine. So you've then got your communication. You are going to need to build your business up, and that equals an email list. Now, if you don't want to do much, you can start with it's stored on a spreadsheet. However, you've got to then think about, well, what you're going to do with that information. You need to send the message out. So in reality, what you want is what's called an ESP. It's not extrasensory perception, sorry. It's an email service provider. And the great news is that there is so many around and about, and there is something to fit absolutely everybody's budget because there are some that are free. Okay, so that's the next thing that you need to think, because everybody will tell you you need to start building your email list yesterday.
Right.
Even if you start with friends and family, you need the list. Having this ESP, the email service provider, means that you've got a way that you can securely and safely store the information and send it out, send those messages out to people. You don't want to, for example, accidentally copy in everybody on your email list into a single email so you're sharing their details. So that is a really good idea. Today, we are a very visual business entirety. So everybody's visual. They're expecting you to have images in your social media and all of that sort of stuff. So realistically, Canva. You want Canva's good. Canva's free. It does have a paid version, but it's a great way to start.
Mhm.
What else do we need? Well, it then depends on your business. What's important for the business? Yes, you've got email for the communication, but what about, are you having online meetings? So you need to consider that. There is something called Google Meet. It's available, you'll never guess, in Google as part of the Office suite. But you've also got, of course, everybody's popular one, Zoom. So it's that. Thereafter, it depends on what's important for your business. If you're mostly text-based, that's already covered because you've got the Office suite. Um, if you're recording video or doing podcast, Zoom will help you perfectly well. Um, so you've then also got to consider, well, how are you going to take money? Because that's what we're doing, is we're sharing our expertise, but it needs to make us money. So you do need to also consider how you're going to take money. This doesn't have to be a big thing and you don't have to do it immediately, but you really want a bit of a plan going forward for what you're going to do when you're ready. Because it could be that as you start, you're not ready, you don't have products to sell. Maybe you've just got your service to sell, but you need to consider this and at least have an idea and plan. Uh, Um, Other than that, that's sort of the key bits.
Mhm.
If you're not very good keeping yourself organized, because again, your email program is going to have a calendar, so you can use that to help organize yourself. If not, there are other alternatives, but it really boils down to you sitting down and saying, what is my business going to do, and what do I need to get that started?
Right. Okay. So this is going to be where I reveal how much I really don't know about terms and what's the difference between, hold on, Michelle, you just said that I could start my email list with a spreadsheet. I know how to put things into a spreadsheet and I know how to use my basic email, but you just said I need an email service provider. And so that's not just my Gmail address.
No. So
Okay.
what you've got is you've got your email account. So I'm sending you an email, so I'm going to send it to your Gmail account. You're going to be able to receive it, you'll read it, hopefully you'll answer me, and you give me some information. So that's sort of a one-to-one conversation via email. And that works
Okay.
perfectly fine. No problems with there, all of the normal things that we're used to. But you're building up your email list. Now, what we want to aim for is a number of people on your list. So let's
Mhm.
pick a number at random. Let's pick 100.
Yeah.
Okay. You've now got 100 people who are really interested in what you do. They want to know more, and you want to share some of your expertise to give them something to hopefully entice them to buy something from you. So, are you going to send an email to each of those 100 people? So that's 100 emails.
Well, I don't know. That could take a long time.
Yeah. Okay. So, you don't want to send, you don't want to send an individual to email to those 100 people. Do you want to? Sorry, there we go. Hopefully that didn't come through too much. Right. So, do you want to send one email to all 100 people?
Yes, I guess so.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. Yes, you want, because that's going to make your life easy.
Mhm.
But you have to be really, really careful, because you don't want to send one email to the 100 people with everybody's address visible to everybody. What you want to do is make sure that you've got protected data security. There's so many rules around data security. They're not, difficult to do, but just to be aware. So that's the problem with sticking with, like, just your, for example, your Gmail account, is that you've got things that you've got to be wary of. You wouldn't be able to say, "Hi, Michelle. Hi, Elizabeth." You'd have to be really general and go, "Hi there. How's things going?" But of course, everybody likes to be known, for themselves. They like to be personalized. So this other product, the email service provider, and if you want a couple of examples, that's things like for the free ones, I've seen Email Octopus. They're actually pretty good. They will build the list. They give you a space to build the list in the same place. Um, there is oh what's the Survey, not Survey Monkey, but the MailChimp.
Mhm.
MailChimp's another free one. Most people tend to grow out of that as their business takes off, but it is a free one, so it's a great place to start. And then you've got ones like ConvertKit. I use Active Campaign. And what they will let you do is they will store all the email addresses, let people sign up. They'll store it. They'll even do some automation for you. But what they will let you do is then send an email, a personalized email to each person. And all you do is you go, "Dear name," type in what you want. You can add other person, you can repeat name lower down, you can do whatever you need to do, and you set it to send. You can either do this manually, so you click the button, say send, and then you scarily wait while it sends out 100 emails to people, or you can actually set it up to schedule it. So it's pre-scheduled. So you can choose to send it at a time that suits you or suits the people that you're sending. But what you're doing is you're not having to manually send it, each one in turn. It's in a more secure way, and also it's in a more personalized way. So that's what the ESP system is going to do for you, rather than you just using your email. It'll pretend that it's coming from your Gmail. So you've set it all up. So it'll actually say it's from your Gmail account. And if people click reply, it will come back to your Gmail so that you can read and reply to it.
This is Elizabeth reading you a sponsor ad, The Power of Laughter, coming to you in Roanoke, Virginia at the Jefferson Center. This is a masterclass with Clayton Fletcher, hosted by yours truly. Okay, over on the other side of the Dear Business Coach podcast, here is the Walker Consulting Work Studio. And with Walker Consulting Works, I am presenting to you Clayton Fletcher and his masterclass on October 18th, 2024. That's a Friday at 11 a.m. It's a full day seminar. Learn from an international professional stand-up comedy headliner what comedians know that all business people should know. This is based on the #1 book on Amazon, The ROI of LOL, that he co-authored with Steve Cody. And Clayton was voted Best of the Fest at Stockholm Comedy Festival and can be heard daily on his own podcast, Tournament Poker Edge, Sirius XM's Laugh USA, and Jamie Foxx's Foxhole stations. Clayton can also be seen on the Ivy League of Comedy Live from the Emlyn Theater on Amazon Prime, Hulu's Comedy Brew, AXS TV's Gotham Comedy Live, Comcast's Who's Laughing Now, MSNBC's Your Business, Fox's Fox News Saturday Night, hosted by Kennedy, and ESPN's World Series of Poker. Clayton Fletcher is very busy. His new special, Middle Child Syndrome, is available on all streaming platforms, and his book, ROI of LOL, recently debuted at #1 on Amazon's business charts. So this is a masterclass hosted by me, Elizabeth Walker, host and producer of the Dear Business Coach podcast and producer and owner at Walker Consulting Works. So you can catch this event one day only in the beautiful Jefferson Center Historical Building in downtown Roanoke, Virginia. I will have catered lunch, morning coffee, and tea. And what you want to think about here is bringing your team. Please check out at Walker Consulting Works YouTube channel for the full interview with Mr. Clayton Fletcher about his workshop and the work he does in the power of laughter, his masterclass. Looking to see you there. Announcing a course for therapists starting a private practice. Visit attainablevision.biz. The affiliate link is on Dear Business Coach podcast.com, bright big purple square that says starting a private practice. This is an affiliate ad read brought to you from the Walker Consulting Works studio. My name is Elizabeth, host and producer of the Dear Business Coach podcast and producer at Walker Consulting Works. And Dr. Brianna Willie is a guest, a former guest of the podcast. She was a guest back in February talking about her coaching business. She helps private practice owners. She helps people who are in the helping business. So if you want to check out her course, this is Starting a Private Practice. Join Dr. Brianna Willie and visit dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. Find Dr. Brianna Willie's affiliate link there in the bright, beautiful purple square that says Starting a Private Practice. Okay, well, that I am familiar with MailChimp, and as you say, I've heard people say that is a free way to start, but you will grow out of it probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so thank you for highlighting the security factor, right? Because that is something that I learned when setting things up was, oh yeah, you have to remember there are security factors that even right now I might have 2 email addresses, but once you do have 100, then you have to make sure everybody's information is private, and you are, correct me if I'm wrong, but somewhat responsible if your potential customers or your contacts information is compromised.
Oh yes,
So
and depending on where you are, I know that the UK has a commission called the ICO that manages that. We've got rules around that within Europe. I'm pretty certain there's bits in America. I'm not sure of their details because it's not 100% specific to me, but it is something you very much need to be aware of, that if there is a data breach and this is released, you are actually responsible. And that's not a good place to be. So you need to do everything in your power to ensure that you are managing the data responsibly, and doing your best to ensure that it's safe and secure.
yeah. Okay. And then we have the next question is, are free versions good enough?
When you're starting out, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
No, no doubt about that. Because let's be honest, if somebody says, "Oh, I use this, it's amazing," that doesn't mean it's amazing for you. That means that they're finding it useful. And until you actually quite literally give it a go, you don't know if it's going to work for you. Does it do what you want? Does it work in a way that you can get on with? It's different systems. The reason they're different is that maybe doing the same thing, but they're doing them in slightly different ways. Is that actually going to work for you personally? So by trying the free option, you get a really good grasp of it. You get to use it. You get to find out if it's good, bad, or indifferent. There are some that you may be able to continue using the free version. Yeah, let's be honest, Zoom gives you 40 minutes. So if all of your stuff is 40 minutes or less, preferably less, then the free version is going to work for you without any issues. If, on the other hand, you find that you're really enjoying using it, you want to expand your the facilities, then you can go into a paid one. But if you try it and you absolutely hate it, well, you haven't lost any money, you have lost a bit of time, and you don't need to continue. You can close the account down, cross that off your list, and go and try something different.
Yeah, I the free services also, I'm glad that you said that too, about getting a hang of it, right? Getting the hang of the different
Yes.
services, right? So I find that learning the free tools helps launch me into a decision making that is better when it's time to spend money, so that, like, just like you said earlier about um, knowing what software you need for your computer, right? Figure out what tools you actually are going to need on a day-to-day basis
Yes.
through the free tools. So I'm glad that you're telling me that that's a good path to go down, because I often find myself thinking, am I missing out on something here? But when it's time to spend a few dollars, then I can use the experience from the free services and then come to you and ask you questions about, this free service is working okay, but what do I do next?
Yeah.
And that would be something I could come to you for as a coach, couldn't I?
Depends on the product. I
Okay.
will openly say I don't know every product on the planet. Some people think I do, but I honestly don't. So, for the products that I actually support, yes, no problem whatsoever. There's a few of them, but not for every product. I'm just to be really clear.
Sure. Sure. Right. So, but asking questions can never help. So, but you have a, you have a handle here to point me in the right direction. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
okay. And then what about deals versus lifetime options? So, yes, go ahead.
It's one of those you have to. So it boils down to what is your financial situation?
Okay.
Okay. Can you? If you were to see, and quite honestly, quite a few of these are like shiny objects and ooh, interesting. I want. Not necessarily you need, but I want. So, first question is, can you afford it? If the answer is no, it's not going to be worth it. Simple as that. The next question is, do you have and are you already paying for something that does that same job? In which case, the answer is no, it's not worth
Mm,
it. Although, on the other hand, is it doing exactly the same job or is it doing more than the job? And will you use them more? So if it gives you your free version gives you 5 options, but this new deal that you've just seen gives you 20 options, those additional 15, how many of them are you actually going to use? If you're going to use like 10 of them, maybe. But you do need to do your homework. It's not worth paying for something that actually you're paying all this money and you're using 3 options. You're not using the majority of them. It's just not worth it. So, can the deals be good? Yes, but the ones that give you deals are usually the lesser known ones. So again, this is why the budget comes to mind. If you have the deal, how long does the deal last? Is it the lifetime deal? In which case, maybe. Um, or is it something you're going to be paying for monthly? You need to check what if you don't like it? What's the options that you've got? Because you don't want to get yourself locked into something that you've decided to pay and you start using it and you suddenly realize, actually, I don't like it or it doesn't do what I want. So the deals, you've just got to be a little bit cautious about that. The lifetime deal is maybe a better option because it's a pay once. The
mhm.
question then is, okay, you bought it, your budget has allowed it, you've got it, and now you've got it forever and ever. But are you actually going to use it? I've done it. I've got I've got a couple of lifetime deals. One of them I'm using, um, and I'm pretty happy with it. It's not a problem. It's quite good for me. And one of them I've used once. Now, I knew that my budget could handle it, so that's why I went for it. Would I buy it if I had the time over? Would I go back and buy it again? I think the answer is probably not, because using it once hasn't made it a good deal. You need to use it enough times. And again, work out for you what's a good number. You know, um, 20, 50 times that makes it the lifetime deal then worth it. So the answer is, as my old school used to say, it depends. If it's
Mhm.
going to be better for you, yes, they can be better than having to pay. Certainly, lifetime deals, it's a one-off payment. You get the money's out your account, but that's it. You can then just use it for the next 20, 30, 50, however many years. So it can be a good deal, but only if you're actually going to use the product.
Right. So here comes another silly question. When someone's offering me a lifetime service, for example, I mean, should I be concerned about how well the company will be able to deliver on that?
Depends. I mean, it does. Yeah. I mean, honestly, that can be a big concern. Um, is this a new company? What's
Mhm.
their track record? When it's a lifetime deal, think of a lifetime. So let's say that you are 40.
Mhm.
You've decided to run your own business. Obviously, if you're younger, this is better, slightly better deal. But um, let's say you've decided that you're going to continue working until you're 70. So that's 30 years. So
Mhm.
this lifetime deal, It's 30 years for you. Will the company still be here in 30 years? What's their support like?
Mhm.
At the end of the day, so some companies work on a lifetime deal. Probably the most well-known is Thrivecart,
Mhm.
which so many people use. They are big enough that their support is pretty good. There are lots of people, lots of coaches, lots of businesses that help support them as well. So their lifetime deal, if what they offer you works for you and your business, they're probably a good deal. And
Mhm.
I will happily put my hand up and say, yes, I have taken advantage of them. I have a
Mhm.
lifetime deal with them. Don't
Mhm.
forget a lifetime deal, and Thrivecart does this, doesn't mean that they won't try and upsell you on things.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
well,
So
well,
the lifetime deal is usually the standard or the basic version. I know that Thrivecart has offered me 2 upgrades since I bought it. So
I
just bear that in
see.
mind. Okay. Right. The deals are the ones that are usually the less well-known ones. You need to see how long the deal's going to last because realistically, you want to do your due diligence. You want to do your homework. Do other people know about it? What have other people said? Is it good? Is it bad? Um, and you don't want to just go to the site. You want to find people who have nothing to do with the company because I mean, let's be honest, there's been a lot of things fairly recently with companies buying reviews, putting their own staff members have been putting reviews up. What you want to do is try and find people who've got nothing to do with the company. If you've got people, colleagues or friends, networks, connections who do something similar, what do they use? How are they liking it? How are they finding it? Could they show it to you? Because again, if you can see it and not just see screenshots, but even if you can see it working, you appreciate that your network may not be able to show you everything, but if they can show you something, that's something more than you had before. So can they be
Yeah.
a good deal? Yes, they absolutely can. But, and that's a huge thing, they might not be. And the only person who can actually make that decision at the end of the day is you because you know what you want to do and how you want to do it.
Right. And being able to see the experience as an end user outside of when you're in the sales pitch
Yeah,
bubble with it.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so you have some recommendations probably for me, for us. What are the top 3 software applications that you can recommend all businesses have?
So I have actually already mentioned them, but let me just
Yeah.
reiterate them. So first off, you want an office suite. Your choice, Google or Microsoft. Oh, quick comment here. For those that are not sure, everybody will tend to think Google because it's free. Here's the good news. For those of you who prefer Microsoft, there's a free Microsoft version. It's Microsoft on the web. Um, it does give you all of your standard suite. So Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. OneNote is the electronic notebook, and it is free and it does give you some storage. Depending on what you're doing, you may find it's good enough. And certainly if you're coming out of corporate, that's what you're probably most used to.
Yeah.
Um, but don't forget, Google is free. There's no reason
Yeah.
that says you can't have both and see which one you prefer, or use the
Oh,
storage on both, because OneDrive, Microsoft gives you some OneDrive storage, and Google gives you some Google Drive storage. Get an account with both. That doubles your storage space for free.
a little bit of a tip there. Yes, I have noticed that. So it's okay to try a couple of different
Oh,
things.
God, yes. As well, it's not going to be the best email address, so you do need to consider that. And as you want to evolve and improve, having an email address which is at your business, so mine is at michellektraining.co.uk, that's going to prove to your customers and to other people that you're serious. So
Yeah.
do consider that, and ideally you want to do that. Now, both of them will do it. You can do it through Google, you can do it through Microsoft, whatever you prefer. My second tip is going to be Canva. which so many people has heard of, so many people use. Um, have a play with it. They do have a free version. Have a play with it. If you're loving it, I did. Um, go for the pro version. That is one thing that you'll probably find is actually quite worth it. The pro means all the pictures, all the fonts, all the images that they include are then inclusive. Otherwise, you have to pay extra for some of the images. The other thing is Canva also has some AI, artificial intelligence software now built in. I haven't played with it too much, but it is there for you. It's also got social media scheduling built in. It's very designed for images because that's what Canva does, but that is built into the Pro version. So it means that you don't necessarily have to go out and buy other things. So when you've got a program that does multiple things for you for a single price, it can really easily be worth it can really easily be worth spending that money because you've now got multifunctional rather than having to buy lots of individual ones. So that's certainly something to consider. And then the last one I'm going to recommend is you need that ESP, that email service provider. Again, find one that you are comfortable with. If they've got free ones, the free trials. So you've got free versions and free trials, remember. The trial is the one you want to have a note in your calendar when the trial is up because you will have put your credit card details in and they will start charging you. If you don't like it, you need to make that decision before they start charging you and cancel it in time. So just be aware of the difference between a free account and a free trial version. But those are the three ones that I think every business should have, whatever level you're at.
Well, Michelle, actually, what you're saying is super powerful. I've been having conversations recently with a business coach who is really working at getting his students to think about the most basic thing, right? To communicate with your customer, make things easier for you on a day-to-day basis. So really talking about, can I type out a document? Can I send somebody an email? Can I do it safely? And can I include something fun like images, which like you said is really what we're doing all over social media is images. So um actually I might have known, but maybe not really, that Canva, the pro version, does help you schedule content. So that's pretty cool. I hadn't really thought about that. So like you're saying, let's look at some software options that give us bundle services or bundle
Yeah,
opportunities. That's
yeah, pretty
cool.
much. Yeah. I mean, there are scheduling tools. I do have blogs about it, so if you want to know a bit more, please do go have a look at the website. There's a whole raft of those. Um, some of them are free, and don't forget, free pretty much means limited. That's what it's always going to mean. So, will the facilities that the free one offers you be enough? If not, you need to then start looking at the paid version. Doesn't have to be the same one, but a paid version. Um, but yeah, if you can do everything, the only catch that I've had with Canva's scheduling is that it wants to schedule the image that you've created and then the text content. So you can't do text only. You don't always, for example, on social media, you don't always want to have an image. Sometimes you just want text, but you can do that manually. You can do that through the application itself. So it can be good enough. Canva can do a lot, and certainly I have paid for the pro one, and I am not sorry in the slightest.
Awesome. Well, we have gotten all into it. I hope I haven't taken up too much of your time. You didn't realize how long we've been going, but I've been having fun.
Not a
So,
problem at
Michelle,
all.
tell us again, where can we connect with you and find you online?
So my website is Michelle Kaye, that's the letter K, training.co.uk. You can find me on LinkedIn as both my personal and my business. You can find me on Facebook. And of course, if you like some tips and tricks, don't forget to check out my website, my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com at Michelle slash at Michelle Kaye, and there are loads of quick tips to help you there.
Thank you so much for coming to the Dear Business Coach podcast, Michelle Kaye. I hope you have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here, and I hope I've helped your listeners. And
Thank you.
you.
Yes. Well, I am about to buy a new computer, so thank you for keeping me from going out and getting whatever the biggest, most expensive one is.
Yeah. As I said, Elizabeth, the main thing for you.
Thank you so much for joining me today. My name's Elizabeth, coming to you from the Walker Consulting Work Studio in Floyd, Virginia. This has been an episode of Dear Business Coach.